Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio, Story 37.
Imagine possessing, like, the ultimate superpower.
Oh, man.
Right, absolute invisibility, just
Yep.
vanishing. But now, imagine the only person in the world who can teach it to you, looks you dead in the eye and says, no, you are entirely too corrupt to handle this.
That is a brutal reality check.
It really is. Today, we are unpacking exactly what happens when an incredibly entitled man is denied ultimate power. We're pulling all of this from a fascinating stack of sources centered around a 17th century Chinese text called Liao Haizi.
Right, which is often translated as Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio.
Exactly. Written by this scholar named Pu Songling. And he collected these bizarre supernatural stories to basically critique society, the wealthy elites, human nature, all of it.
Yeah, he was definitely holding up a mirror to his era.
For sure. It's a tale that starts with a profound moral dilemma about the corruption of power, and it ends up in the realm of just absurd, almost slapstick magic.
It's such a wild ride, and to really get the stakes of, you have to picture the two main characters locked in this battle of wills.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, so first we have Han Gongzi, or Young Master Han. He's from this noble, extraordinarily wealthy family.
Basically the top of the food chain.
Exactly. He represents the absolute peak of the social hierarchy. He's a man of leisure, loves being entertained, and is entirely used to just, getting his way all the time.
Right, the word no probably isn't in his vocabulary.
Not at all. And then second, we have Taoist Shan. Now, Shan is an enigmatic monk who has become Han's honored guest.
But not because they're, best friends, right?
Right, no. He isn't there for the food or the money. He's there because he can perform these illusions and feats that completely defy the laws of reality.
And the clash between these two is going to offer an incredible look at petty revenge and the surreal boundaries of magic. So give us a sense of what kind of power we're actually talking about here. What is Taoist Shan doing that has this wealthy nobleman so captivated?
Well, Shan possesses a signature ability that goes way beyond a simple parlor trick. I mean, he has mastered total invisibility on command.
Wow. Total invisibility.
Yeah, he could be walking down the street with you or sitting right across the table at a banquet, and he can simply blip out of existence, just vanishes into thin air without a trace.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And naturally, young Master Han becomes completely obsessed with this.
Oh, completely. He demands that Taoist Shan teach him the spell. And Taoist Shan gives him a firm, unequivocal refusal. Just a hard no.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because Han asking for the power of invisibility is, well, it's a lot like handing a teenager the keys to a stealth bomber.
That is a great way to put it.
Or, giving someone absolute untraceable digital anonymity in our modern world. Think about how people behave online when they know their name isn't attached to their actions.
Oh, yeah? The mask slips?
Exactly. The social consequences disappear. Han expects to be given this power simply because he's rich and powerful, entirely ignoring the moral weight of what he's actually asking for.
And Shen's refusal gets to the very core of Taoist philosophy. He explicitly tells Han, and I quote, "It is not that I am stingy with my art. I am afraid of ruining my Tao."
Ruining his Tao, meaning his path, right?
Right. Because in Taoist practice, magic isn't just a tool you pick up and put down. It's inextricably linked to your spiritual cultivation, your internal energy, your ki. It must remain pure.
So it's not just a spell you memorize from a book.
Exactly. Shan explains the mechanics behind his refusal. He says passing this knowledge to a true gentleman, someone who has mastered their earthly desires, that would be fine. But giving it to the wrong person inevitably leads to theft.
Makes sense. Invisible thieves would be pretty successful.
And it's worse than that for the teacher. If the student uses the magic for evil, the karmic blowback corrupts the master's Tao as well.
Oh, wow. So he's essentially telling Han he needs to pass a background check.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is already a massive blow to the ego of a nobleman who's used to just snapping his fingers and getting what he wants.
But Shan goes significantly further than that. He doesn't just mention a hypothetical thief. He looks directly at his wealthy host and tells him that while a man of his stature might not stoop to stealing money, there is a much darker temptation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Shan explicitly states that Han would likely see a beautiful woman use the invisibility spell to sneak into her private bedroom and commit lewd acts.
He actually says that to his face.
To his face. Shan categorizes this as aiding evil and promoting lust. He flatly states he cannot obey the command because Han lacks the moral fortitude to resist predation.
Just imagine sitting at your own dinner table, right? You're providing for this monk, giving him a place to stay, and he looks at you and essentially says, I won't teach you magic because you're a creep who can't be trusted around women.
It is brutal.
The ego wound there is monumental. This is an astronomical insult to a man of Han's stature.
And it functions as a complete unmasking. Shan completely strips away Han's noble facade. You have to remember, in 17th century Chinese society, the wealthy elite heavily relied on the perception of their own inherent virtue.
Right, they're supposed to be the moral pillars of society.
Exactly. So to be called out as a potential predator by a holy man, I mean, that shatters the illusion. And the text shows us how this specific psychological wound instantly metastasizes. Han cannot reflect on his own flaws, so he immediately defaults to violence.
Because, of course, he does.
Right. He secretly plots with his servants to physically beat and humiliate the Taoist.
Which brings up a massive logistical problem. If the guy can turn invisible on command, how exactly do you plan to beat him up? You can't punch what you can't see.
You'd think so. But Han actually takes a highly empirical, almost scientific approach to this supernatural problem.
Wait, really? The entitled rich guy gets scientific.
Yeah. He deduces the mechanics of the situation. He reasons that while the Taoist's magic might manipulate light or perception to hide the body from the eye, the physical body must still exist in space.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Right. It still possesses mass, it still has weight. Therefore, an invisible person must interact with the physical environment. They have to leave footprints.
Okay, applying the laws of physics to trap the supernatural. I mean, I have to admit, it's a surprisingly clever strategy for a guy essentially throwing a temper tantrum.
It really is. And it leads to a highly tactical ambush. Han orders his servants to spread a thick layer of fine ash over a wheat threshing floor.
Which creates a perfectly flat, easily disturbed surface.
Exactly. He then lures Taoist Shan out to this courtyard, where a group of servants are waiting in the wings, armed with heavy ox whips. Han gives the signal, the ambush is sprung, and instantly, Taoist Shan vanishes.
Just drops completely out of sight.
Precisely. But Han's hypothesis holds up. The moment Shan disappears, physical footprints begin forming in the fine ash, just walking across the threshing floor.
Oh, wow.
What's fascinating here is the absolute clash between ethereal magic and mundane physical logic.
The chaos in this scene must have been unbelievable, because you have this darkly comedic, incredibly frantic image, right? The servants see these footprints appearing out of nowhere in the ash, and they just start wildly swinging these heavy leather ox whips at empty air.
It's totally absurd.
They're trying to anticipate where the invisible man is moving, based entirely on the tracks in the dirt.
And they are trying to literally beat the magic out of the air. The physical exertion is immense. But as you can imagine, swinging whips at footprints is incredibly inefficient.
Yeah, I'd imagine the timing is nearly impossible.
The text details how the servants quickly become disoriented. They're striking blindly, they're kicking up huge clouds of ash everywhere, and in a matter of moments, the tracks just vanish.
They lose him.
They completely lose him. The empirical trap fails against the spiritual escape.
So Han packs it up. He's been humiliated twice, now first morally and now tactically. He heads back to his estate in defeat. But the failure of physical violence forces a massive shift in the dynamic here, right? Because the listener needs to know, the Taoist didn't just run away to hide in the mountains.
No, not at all. Han arrives back at his home only to find that Taoist Shan is already there, casually waiting for him.
Wait. The servants just tried to literally beat him with ox whips in a cloud of ash, and he simply goes back to the guy's living room.
He goes right back to the house.
And he doesn't even retaliate with violence. I mean, the text says he turns to the very servants who just tried to whip him, and he says, I can't stay here anymore. You've worked hard for me. Before I leave, I must repay you. He is throwing a thank you party for his attackers.
This is a masterclass in psychological warfare.
Truly.
By ignoring the violence entirely and choosing to reward the servants, Shan asserts total dominance. He signals that he is entirely unaffected by Han's physical world.
Like they're beneath his notice.
Exactly. He recognizes the servants were just pawns following the orders of a fragile, angry man. And think about how infuriating that is for a powerful person like Han.
Oh, it would make your blood boil. To throw everything you have at someone, only for them to treat your attack as a minor, slightly amusing inconvenience.
Right. By treating the servants well, Shan socially isolates Han in his own home. He shows who really has the power.
And the reward he gives them isn't just a polite little gesture either. He throws a massive magical feast.
The famous sleeve trick.
Yes. Shan reaches into his sleeve and pulls out a large vessel full of excellent wine. Then he reaches in again and pulls out a whole platter of food. And the source material notes he does this over 10 times.
Just pulling out a whole banquet.
Yeah, he just keeps reaching into his sleeve, pulling out dish after dish, completely filling the table.
And to understand the mechanics of this, we have to look at the classic Taoist concept of King Kun in a sleeve.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, King Kun represents the universe, heaven and earth. So in Taoist mythology, highly cultivated monks can manipulate spatial reality. They can effectively house an entire pocket dimension within the folds of their garments.
So it's not a magic trick with hidden pockets,
No, he is literally bending space.
which completely undermines everything Han stands for.
That's exactly the point. Han prides himself on being the aristocratic provider, right? The wealthy host who can afford exotic entertainment and massive banquets.
And Shan is basically saying, I carry all of that in my jacket.
Yes, Shan demonstrates that he carries an entire manor's worth of luxury within the fabric of his clothing. He's proving that Han's wealth cannot buy him, just as Han's violence could not hurt him.
It's the ultimate flex.
It is. And after getting the servants thoroughly drunk, Shan displays utter, precise control. He packs every single plate, vessel, and scrap of leftovers right back into his sleeve. He leaves the room exactly as he found it.
Incredible. Now, you would hope that a person sitting in Han's position would experience a moment of profound shame at this point. I mean, he has been outsmarted, outclassed, and spiritually outmaneuvered at every turn.
Right, a reflective person might feel shame, but Han feels greed.
Of course.
He hears about this incredible spatial manipulation trick from his servants, and rather than apologizing for the ambush, he demands that Shan perform more tricks.
He still thinks he's in charge.
Yeah, he treats this master of the Tao like a performing circus animal.
And that demand clearly breaks whatever patience the monk had left.
Definitely. Shan agrees to perform one final trick, but he makes it explicitly clear that it is a goodbye performance. He's setting the final boundary.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the visual spectacle of this exit is completely surreal. Tell us how he actually leaves.
So Shan walks over to a solid blank plaster wall in Han's estate. He takes out a brush and draws a walled city directly onto the surface.
Look at the mural.
Right. He sketches the walls, the towers, and a set of heavy city gates. He then steps back, raises his hand, and physically pushes against the two-dimensional drawing on the wall.
And then...
Suddenly, the drawn city gates burst open inward, revealing a full three-dimensional reality inside the plaster.
Oh man, he turns this sketch into an actual physical space.
He literally creates a new reality. He takes all his bags, all his luggage, and hurls it into the open gate on the wall. He turns back to Han, gives a polite, formal bow, and simply says, "I'm leaving."
That is amazing.
Then he leaps entirely into the wall. The gate slams shut behind him, the image flattens out, and the wall goes completely blank again. No trace of the city. No trace of the monk.
The ultimate mic drop. He completely removes himself from Han's life.
Because walking out the front door implies you are still playing by the rules of your host's reality.
Oh, that's a good point.
By creating a doorway that Han literally cannot follow him through, Shan executes a definitive metaphysical rejection of Han's entire world. He escapes the system entirely.
Leaving Han standing in an empty room staring at a blank wall. It really feels like the perfect ending to a morality play. But, and this is where the text throws a curveball, the sources we're looking at today include a bizarre epilogue.
Yeah, it completely shifts gears here.
Pu Songlin includes a series of rumors about what Taoist Shan did after he jumped into that wall, and it forces us to completely reevaluate our understanding of his character.
Because the narrative shifts from this high-stakes, magical standoff in a noble estate to the dusty, chaotic, everyday markets of Qingzhou. We get these localized, folkloric rumors that show a very, very different side of the monk.
Right, the first rumor is actually really playful. People say they saw Shan in the Qingzhou market entertaining the local children. He would teach them to draw a simple ink circle on the palm of their hand. And when the kid playfully threw their hand forward towards someone in the market, the ink circle would just peel off their skin, fly through the air, and leave a perfect, embarrassing ink imprint on the target's face or clothing.
He is essentially arming children with magical flying ink stamps to annoy people.
It's hilarious.
It's deeply mischievous, and it completely contrasts with the austere, serious monk who lectured a nobleman about the dangers of bedroom trespass just days earlier.
Which brings us to the final rumor in the text. And I have to say, it is completely jarring.
Oh, yeah.
According to the source material, Shan is reportedly highly skilled in bedchamber arts, or Fangzong Shu, and the specific skill the rumor details. He has the magical ability to make his lower body act like a vacuum, sucking up and consuming an entire large vessel of strong liquor through his nether regions.
Yep. An entire container of alcohol absorbed entirely through his lower extremities.
The text concludes by stating that Han Dongxi actually traveled to the market and personally tested and verified this liquor trick.
That's the best part.
Han, the proud aristocrat who tried to beat a man with whips because his ego was bruised, tracks down the monk who humiliated him, just to watch him perform this grotesque parlor trick. His obsession completely overrides whatever dignity he had left.
It brings the entire critique full circle. Han is drawn to the spectacle, completely missing the profound spiritual lessons he was offered earlier.